I'm hungry. May we extend an invitation to join us in the BERTIE BOTTS Bean Special. Straight from the world of Hogwarts, there's a man named BERTIE BOTTS, who created a box of jelly beans to put taste buds in knots. These flavors cover all the ground from mundane to downright crazy. You'll eat them all until at last you're pushing up the daisies.
It's your good buddy Djclyve here, and if it seems a little bit more dimly lit in here, well, because I use a lot of natural light on this here show, and today just seems to be a rotten, dismal, crummy, cloudy, rainy day. Guess the man upstairs knew that I was talking about jolly old England! I have nothing against you guys, nothing, I'm just saying it rains a lot, And it looks as if this is gonna be one of those quickie episodes, because look at this tiny little box, how much work can this possibly be? It's Harry Potter's forbidden BERTIE BOTTS beans! Wait a second. This is like those Bean Boozled things, and those were a lot of work! Before I begin, what does your good buddy Djclyve think about the Harry Potter universe? I'm kinda sorta a fan. I think it's pretty creative in its nuts and bolts, like all the little things, like the names of things and all the strange creatures, the strange types of magic, you know, all the stuff that's happening in the background. But the overall story is about as little creativity as you can get.
The Chamber of Secrets.
Well, anyway, when I was a kid, me and my friends, we were capitalizing on the 1989 Batman craze, and we created our own movie called Catman. Yes, I know there is a Catman in the DC universe, but he wasn't as cool as our Catman. Anyway, it was a vicious battle all the way through. On opposite ends of the same house, you had your good guys, Catman and Fred Alf, and your bad guys, a huge cadre of unique enemies led by our version of the Joker, the Jabberwocky. Over the course of a full hour, the two sides fought and fought and fought, with minimal casualties on both sides. They would go to war, reach a stalemate, and one side would retreat, only for they to do it all again the next day. Finally, in the last few minutes of the movie, something different is in the air, because suddenly, people are dying. One by one, the bad guys go down until it culminates in an anticlimactic fight between swashbuckling hero and evil bad guy. The Jabberwocky gets dumped into the vat of acid, melts before our eyes, and end credits roll. I ask you, is that really that different from the Harry Potter universe? Only with us, it was just 1 hour. With them, it was like 8 freaking movies!
Manky old boat.
I should probably address the elephant in the room. You are not going to see any of the usual smash cuts that you're used to seeing on this show. Instead, we have replaced them with our, I guess you could say he's kind of our British constituent? I know about as much of Great Britain, England, whatever you prefer, to fill up Elmo's ear canal. So, I made some phone calls and I got myself a translator. Instead of smash cuts, you are going to see this man's face with some clever words of British wit to infuse this episode with a little bit of that British swag. Here, without further ado, is Wallatides, the Grand Wizard of Wallets. Oh, what can I say? He's at the top of his field, but it's a really small field. Care to say something, Wallatides?
That tosser Harry Potter.
That tosser Harry Potter. Yeah, you know, they did say that in one of those movies, and may I reiterate those family movies, the Harry Potter series. I believe it was the Goblet of Fire they said that. I really don't know a whole lot about British slang, but I do know this. The term tosser means... There you go. Words of the wise, Harry Potter's not out to raise your children, he's a damn necromancer! So believe it or not, this particular episode of Limbo Grub is shaping out to be the longest episode of all time. Because, remember the Bean Boozled review that I did? Remember how long that review is? See this tiny little box right here? There are twice as many flavors to review in here! So, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do, just to keep this from being a damn Netflix series. I will start out by eating the bean in question, and then I'm gonna use some kind of Harry Potter magic to start a timer in the corner of the screen for every item that I review here today. And I will go no longer than 1 minute for each of these flavors. If I do, then Anana Kadabra. What the hell was how the hell did that death spell go in the Harry Potter movies there, Wallatees? I don't think that was it. And this isn't gonna be a competition or nothing. I'm not gonna put these beans in a numeric order from best to worst or anything like that. I'm gonna keep it nice and simple and nice and swift. Let's see, what can I do here? I will tell you what the best one is and the worst one is, and then I'll grade the overall experience. How about that? So without further ado, I present the Harry Potter Forbidden BERTIE BOTTS Beans Challenge! And since we're reviewing so many items here today, I gotta go with a video game that has an extensive discography. I'm gonna go with the whole Mega Man universe! Yeah. So why beat around the bush? Let's review that first flavor.
If I'm speaking too fast, then play it back slower, or open your mouth next to a lawnmower. All of the others I'll take a hard pass, for my favorite jelly bean is green grass!
Well, this isn't my first foray into the grass-flavored product. I've had grass soda on this show pretty damn recently, and how does this measure up? It tastes about the same. It kind of tastes like lemon lime, but not quite. It also tastes kind of sweet, but not quite. You know what it reminds me of? You ever get a salad that has like really big leaves, like round leaves in it, and you take a bite of one of those leaves without dressing on it? That's exactly what this tastes like. Is it a good taste? Is it a bad taste? In a salad, I normally don't like that taste, but as a jelly bean, it's actually not that bad.
Only one jelly has comparable power to overthrow lemon in levels of sour. When it comes to flavors, it's hard to grapple. My number one flavor of bean is green apple.
If I look bored, it's because I am. You look on the side of the box and you see all those colors and all those possibilities. You wish that they could all be just equally creative, but no. We got flavors in there like green apple. Doesn't taste bad, doesn't taste overly remarkable. Hell, if you just buy a regular box of Jelly Belly jelly beans, there's bound to be green apple in there. Why'd they do this? And yeah, it's really tasty. It's got a little bit of a sour note, which is a good thing, and very strange comparison, but I would almost compare it to a chewing gum-ish kind of taste, like very hard to make the comparison. It kind of tastes like juicy fruit. I know I've made that comparison in a pretty recent video, but it really does taste a lot like juicy fruit gum, and I know juicy fruit wasn't really aiming for a particular taste, but now that I taste this, it's like lightning has hit my brain. Juicy fruit is green apple. Mind blown.
Ye open this box and prepare for a fight. In this box of beans we yearn for the white. I banish thee, sir, to some deep dark gallow, if you don't fall in love with this marshmallow.
Tastes like a marshmallow, but not quite like a fluffy marshmallow, but almost like those weird candy marshmallows. Maybe more like a Lucky Charms marshmallow? Whoa, it just hit me. It tastes like Peeps. You know those little sugar-covered like little chickadees and little pink rabbits and stuff like that? It tastes almost exactly like that. And everybody's eating that, so you know exactly what it tastes like.
In this small box, it reeks just a smidge, like something left decayed and bad in the fridge. It's got a weird taste that is sure hard to peg, but give it some thought, it's one rotten egg. I tried them for murder! Gave him the chair!
Ugh. You ever accidentally eat a piece of moldy bread? It's got a little bit of that taste in there. Tastes about as good as a Fantastic Beasts movie. I'm sorry, I know that was a low blow. It's got a tiny, tiny speck of a good taste in there somewhere, but it's drowned out by an overwhelming taste of bread mold. On top of that, it's almost got like kind of like a weird nutty creaminess to it, if that makes any sense to you. Ugh. I know green grass wanted to be a disgusting flavor, but no, this qualifies as the first disgusting flavor of the whole cadre here. And this is gonna be a real tough one to beat.
Do you have a hunger for slabs of meat, some polska kielbasa, or hot dogs to eat? I'll tie up your arms and legs and hold you hostage, and feed you nary but beans-flavored sausage!
They nailed the taste of meat! Tastes more like meat than any of those bacon items that I've had on this show. And you gotta give them some credit because that's a tough taste to nail. It's got that certain spice. Like if you ever go to like a meat market and you actually watch the people making sausage, you smell the smells in the air and all that weird spice that they infuse into the sausage to make the flavor. This has that flavor, no doubt. It's got a hint of a pork taste, like a sugary pork taste, if you ever had that, which I'm pretty sure you haven't. Who ever heard of sugary pork? I imagine it's gotta taste like this. You know what? It tastes horrible. It's not the worst thing I've eaten on this show, but you know what? They were aiming for sausage, and they nailed sausage.
Amongst the rest, this is one odd bedfellow, for this tiny yum-yum is sour and yellow. From here to the People's Republic of Yemen, you'll scream about how much you adore this lemon.
Lemon head. It's par for the course. It's a lemon jelly bean. Tastes kind of sour. Delightfully sour. And delightfully sweet at the same time. One of the better lemon jelly beans that I've had, but unspectacular.
When it comes to my snacks, hell, I'm not a wiener. I go for those flavors that double as cleaner. In a sea of dozens, yeah, I'm gonna grope the sky blue beans that taste like dish soap.
They did it right! My god, it tastes like soap! It tastes like I'm just taking a swig out of a bottle of Palmolive. It softens hands while you do dishes. We all know what soap tastes like. Especially those of us who grew up in the age before dishwashers. We washed everything by hand. A lot of times you didn't get all that soap off, like it might be hiding in the crevices of your glasses. And you drink like a milk or a juice or a soda. You get a twinge of that taste, like a tiny, tiny little bit of that taste. It ruins the whole thing. So what do you get when you have a whole mouthful of that taste? You get a soap-flavored jelly bean, and they nailed this taste. It just tastes so damn strong. But you know, in this case, the grosser the better. I consider this flavor to be a whole lot of fun. I put it at the tippity top, the upper echelon of the flavors that I've had today. Let's see if any of the others down the line have what it takes to overthrow this juggernaut off the top of the mountain.
Flavor perfection, well I like to think, is served in a color pastelly and pink, on top of the stick with arms crossed like a boss. You won't need no sauce atop this candy floss.
Hey Wallatides, what is candy floss anyway?
You're right, foul git, you know that?
How enlightening. Thank goodness we have Wallatides here, huh? Well, I claim not to know a whole lot about British jargon, but I do happen to know what Candy Floss is because I'm a fan of pro wrestling, and there's a female pro wrestler by the name of Candy Floss. She wrestles in NXT UK, you might have heard of her, and she wears like pastel-y, cotton candy-like colors to the ring, so I can put two and two together. Cotton candy is Candy Floss. By the way, NXT UK roster, shame on you. Tastes like a standard Jelly Belly cotton candy jelly bean. As a matter of fact, I've had the Jelly Belly cotton candy jelly beans before. You'd think they'd be just the same thing, but these kind of taste a little bit off. A little bit of a cardboard taste to it. I don't know if that means the bean was just in the box too long and it's getting some of that taste on it, but something unpleasant about it. So to run out the clock, I'm just gonna stand up and candy floss.
When creating flavors, they did hit a fluke. They were aiming for fruit punch, instead they got puke. You would run to the bathroom and proceed to vomit when you eat orange jelly beans flavored of vomit.
They can't get any worse than this. My God, this is almost neck and neck with that skunk spray. If either of them is the leader in disgusting flavors, they probably won by a nose. I think this one is a little bit more accurate. It definitely does taste like I just upchucked, I don't know, maybe some green jackfruit into my mouth and swallowed it back down. It definitely has a very acidy taste, which, you know, that pretty much sums up vomit in a nutshell. I don't know what the point is to all of this. I mean, I definitely remember with the Bean Boozled jelly beans, there was some kind of game involved. I mean, I haven't seen it lately, but I kind of remember in the back of my brain like a game board and a little spinner that's being sold with it. I don't know what the game is. I don't know what the rules are, but if there's any sort of game to this, just let it be known to anybody playing. You get that jelly bean that's vomit flavor. It's the kind of like the gold jelly bean with all the little, kind of looks like the COVID-19 germ. It's like gold and it's got like tiny little red splotches on it. You get that jelly bean, you've lost the game. You're out. Oh man.
Before you eat all the red and get to the rind, there's just one more tidbit you should keep in mind. Sirius Black, the world-renowned felon, his favorite flavor is green watermelon.
I don't understand artificial watermelon taste. Think of any like watermelon candy that you've ever had in your lifetime. Does it taste like a watermelon to you? Don't taste like one to me. I guess because watermelon has such a light taste and watermelon candies always have such a strong taste. Is there any kind of way to lighten up the taste a little? I mean, come on, it's overload. So yeah, I'm not gonna say that it's so gross that I can't eat it. I would still gladly take handfuls of it and just shove them down my gullet and go into sugar overload. But you just gotta keep in mind that artificial watermelon and watermelon are two very different things that have nothing to do with each other.
To ingest your very own body secretion doth result in humanity's depletion, but it's one of Dumbledore's favorite snacks, so pick up a spoon and scoop some earwax!
I say this often, but it kind of tastes like spoiled dairy, but not milk. I'd say more like spoiled almond milk, because it has a bit of that spoiled milk taste, but with a bit of a hazelnut tinge.
The Sorcerer's Stone.
I mean, I guess this is a taste I could get used to. I mean, as far as being gross, it's one of the lesser gross candies. I mean, it does have a pleasing aftertaste. I guess I kind of like earwax. So BERTIE BOTTS, shots fired and shots missed. You're gonna have to do a lot better than that to gross me out. It's a small wonder why you've never been in any of these.
Beneath your shoes in the soil when it rains comes a taste that's so bad it rattles your brains. This isn't a lie, and I have to confirm, there really are beans flavored of an earthworm.
There's definitely something organic about this taste. And I'm not talking about the traditional definition of the word organic, like organic fruits, organic vegetables, organic meats. I mean, it feels like you're eating a pulsating organ of a once living creature. Ugh. And it really does taste like a creature that just lived off of dirt and feces its entire life. It's like eating twice turned feces if there is such a delicacy in the world. I don't know. It also kind of tastes like bad soda, like it's not mixed right, like there's way too much syrup in it, as opposed to like the sweetness and the sugar and the carbonation. It's just like mostly syrup and tar. Kind of tastes like that too. It also tastes a bit nutty. Walatides, anything to add?
Spotted dick!
Well, doesn't that say it all?
Could be worse, could be eating the feces of a bird or an aardvark or some other species. To the rim of insanity your mind will skirt, eating handfuls and handfuls and handfuls of dirt!
haven't drank the dirt soda yet, but if it tastes anything like this, I'm in for a hell of an experience. The minute you put it in your mouth, it just bypasses all your taste buds and goes straight for the nose. It just goes whoosh, and just takes up residence there like a creature crawling into a chrysalis. I would imagine this is what it would be like to lick the bark of a tree, like a really sticky, sappy tree. I mean, they were going for dirt. They got tree. Trees grow out of the dirt. I guess it's close enough, right? On to the next one.
Found deep inside of this kitten caboodle comes the grit that brings life to yummy snickerdoodles. You cannot be prepared for the hot this inflicts. These beans have the hard bite of cinnamon sticks!
It tastes like a perfectly good cinnamon jelly bean. As a matter of fact, what I really compare it to, you ever have those gummy bears that are not quite gummy? They're kind of more like gumdrop material. They sell them a lot at the candy stores that actually sell candy by weight. You can often get them like in a little baggie and just weigh them. They always taste like cinnamon. They're really, really hot and spicy. It tastes almost exactly like that if you've ever had those. And you know, I'm not really all that keen on all these normal flavors intermingling with all the weird ones, but with cinnamon, I'm gonna make a little bit of an exception because you need kind of a palate cleanser in between these weird flavors to reset your taste buds to, you know, prepare your tongue for the next one. So I guess cinnamon gets a pass.
I know you'll want to check this out. It's a taste that you'll want to scream about. Jelly Belly are experts. You better be wary, because nobody makes they a better cherry.
What do you say? It's pretty much standard stuff. Makes you really question the reasoning. Why the hell is it here? I mean, you have all these strange flavors, all these weird exotic flavors. I mean, some of even the normal flavors that they picked are a little bit unusual, a little bit out of the norm, but cherry. Everybody offers cherry. What's the deal?
Fancy a game of Quidditch?
Whatever. BERTIE Bots, are you out there watching this right now? Because I've got a little message for you. Where is the butterbeer flavored jelly bean? Why would you put cherry on the menu and not have butterbeer? How many times has butterbeer come up in the damn movies? So in summation, what do I say? It's a cherry jelly bean, and a cherry jelly bean tastes like a cherry jelly bean. Doesn't taste spectacular, doesn't taste gross, but it's not gonna leave any sort of impression. Why is it here?
To the hand, it is something that you'll want to keep. To the ear, it indeed will not utter one peep. To the eye, it's a thing of unparalleled beauty. To the tongue, unmistakably is tutti frutti.
Curious. This tutti frutti tastes more like candy floss than the candy floss one did. And I know I ate them the right way because I'm looking at that picture right here. Candy floss is just a solid color, and tutti frutti is the color that I just ate. So maybe they mislabeled them, I don't know, but this definitely tastes more like cotton candy than that other one did. In fact, I was talking about those cotton candy jelly beans that Jelly Belly sells. These look almost exactly like them. In fact, they are them. They have to be. It shouldn't be called tutti frutti. It should be called clerical error. The flavor. What a chip!
Harry Potter, you're playing games with my mind! You're blowing my mind!
My favorite green jelly bean, yes, there's a lot. You might think it's spearmint, actually, it's not. Green apple or lime, hell, you might like those. My favorite are boogers, like those from my nose!
I'm not gonna lie, when I was a kid, I used to eat boogers all the time. If they tasted like this, why would any kid ever? There's something very spoiled cheese about this. It's not just spoiled cheese, but like spoiled cheese with sugar added. Like you were trying to, it tasted bad, so you tried to sweeten it up somehow to taste good, and it actually just brought out the bad taste even more. There's something very creamy about it. But you know what, I'm not even gonna get mad that it doesn't taste like a real booger, because what do you expect the people at Jelly Belly to do, huh? Just constantly pick and taste their own boogers and try to replicate that taste? I mean, that's gonna be the worst job in the world if that ever happened. I can't even open my eyes right now. They're just like in a permanent squint. I can't tell which one the worst is, and this is definitely not the worst, but it's up there. It's in the upper echelon of the bad scale, so kudos to them for this, and I shudder to think what is next.
I must have been dreaming. Have I been asleep? I pictured a candy with a color so deep. When asked if it's tasty, I'd say it is very. A tangy blue jelly, what tastes of blueberry?
I love blueberry everything. Blueberry blow pops, blueberry gummy bears. This is probably gonna be my absolute favorite of the bunch. It's really, really tasty, but it kind of defeats the point of the experiment, doesn't it? I mean, why should I have half good ones and half bad ones? Just give me all good ones or all bad ones. To me, it's like almost as if they had too many slots to fill and there weren't enough creative minds to fill those slots. So they just patched them up with basic cherry, cinnamon, blueberry, that kind of stuff. Kind of reminds me of buying muffins in bulk from Price Club. The people in the back, they know which flavor we want. We want the chocolate chip. Everybody wants the chocolate chip. But they want to sell more muffins, right? So they only put 3 of the chocolate chip in every flat with 4 slimy blueberry muffins and 5 cinnamon muffins. Like anybody wants those stupid things. Why so little of what we want? Because they want you to buy another box to get another taste. Shit should be illegal.
You yearn for a jelly bean riddled with spice. Before you do so, you better think twice. I'll cast a spell on you and make you a leper if you buy this box and eat the black pepper.
Whoa, black pepper, mam-a-lam, whoa, black pepper, mam-a-lam, mam-a-lam. Eureka! They have done it! Holy crap! It tastes exactly like a big mouthful of pepper, like you... I remember one time, a long time ago, I went to Friendly's, and I could tell the person who was preparing my chicken sandwich just, like the top came off the pepper, and there was this big pile of pepper on there. I took my first bite of it, the memories just come flooding back to me. Holy moly. It's so funny just how real it tastes, you know? I mean, if I were to lose my memory just right now, and I woke up with this taste in my mouth, the last thing that I would think was that I was eating candy. If you want to taste this taste at home, well, it's really easy. We all have pepper shakers at home. I mean, hell, maybe you have one of those cracked pepper ones that you have to twist. You just take your tongue, just throw it out on the table, just go, bah, and you take that pepper shaker and you go, or, and then you roll up your tongue and insert it into your mouth and just kind of like suck. There's the taste right there. It tastes pretty much, they nailed it. Very, very strong and very, very real. This one really impressed me. Let's see if the next one down the line can do any better.
This jungle treat is enjoyed by the apes, and those who despise it, it's just sour grapes. Sit back and put on your finest bandana, and gobble all up this wondrous banana!
Tastes like a soft version of the banana runts, if you ever had those. Also kind of tastes like that banana flavored chocolate that I had in that Heart Choco Dip puzzle that I had a few reviews back. I know it sounds pretty weird. I'll put in like a link to that review if you care. But aside from that, I really can't say much. It's a banana flavored jelly bean. It tastes like artificial banana flavor. Walatides? I'm not like him! I'm normal! Your words mean very little. But I still could get used to you. In fact, maybe I could learn to love you. Too much candy! So, to grade the overall experience? So first up, we decide the winners and the losers. If I were to choose one grand champion of the BERTIE BOTTS Beans experiment, drumroll! Got a lot of worthy contenders here. But I think I made it no secret which one rose above and beyond. It's the black pepper flavor! Just something about this jelly bean, it embodied the whole idea of the experiment itself. It just... Why did I eat so many at once? This is gonna hurt. This kind of taste that... It like stabs your tongue, burns your throat, makes your eyes water. Kind of has a note of a soapiness in the back of it. But my God, it tastes exactly what is advertised. It tastes like, you know what I said before? It tastes like you shook like a little thing of pepper on your tongue. No, you unscrewed the cap and you inhaled it. You shot it like it was like a shot of Jack Daniels or something. My God. This is a taste that hurts. It's really foul, it's really gross, but you know what? These jelly beans are supposed to be foul and gross. And you wouldn't think, because they're so tiny, they're so little, that you wouldn't think they would have that huge explosive effect in your mouth. But that flavor did it in spades, and I applaud it for it. As for the worst flavor, that was a little bit more difficult because there were a lot of lackluster entries in this whole cadre. Flatulence roll. I give it to cherry. It's kind of a joke unto itself, isn't it? You have all these creative flavors and then smack dab right in the middle of there is just cherry. The most boring, standard flavor of all time. You look at anything that's multi-flavor, what's the first flavor they list all the time? It's always cherry. Cherry gummy bears, cherry chuckles, cherry pie. In fact, if you ask anybody a flavor-related question, you ask them, what's the first flavor you can think of? Odds are it's gonna be cherry. What's an ice pop flavor? Cherry ice pop. What's a flavor of Coca-Cola? Cherry Coke. A type of pie? Cherry. Flavor of Hostess fruit pie? Cherry fruit pie. Favorite kind of Christmas cookies? Butter with maraschino cherries. Your favorite character on Pee-wee's Playhouse? Cherry. You see it! So now, the moment you've been waiting for, what does your good buddy Djclyve rate the overall experience? Drum roll and flatulence. Phew! Somebody's been eating eggs. I give this the rating of 2 stars. Oh, Djclyve is no fun. Maybe not, but I tell it like it is. First off, I had to reiterate, BERTIE BOTTS beans have the same exact drawbacks as the Bean Boozled challenge did. The beans are too small. They're just too tiny, they're not standard sized jelly beans. I mean, yeah, some of these jelly beans exploded with flavor in your mouth, but think of how much more fun and more gross some of these flavors could have been if they were just regular sized jelly beans. Why did they be so tiny? How about you take this box, you double the size, and you double the beans? It's the same amount of beans on the inside, but double the fun! And I have a second complaint that also applies to the Bean Boozled jelly beans. These boxes are way too small. And you pay a whole lot of money for a whole little in return. This box barely fits in my hands. This box fits in a little toddler's hands. You know how much something like this would go for? Almost $3! That's highway robbery. And with the Bean Boozled jelly beans, that was highway robbery too. But to a lesser extent, this is actually much, much worse. Which brings me to my individual complaints that I have towards BERTIE in general. That's right, BERTIE, I've got my laser eyes pointed squarely at you. You gotta do something! At least with the Bean Boozled, I don't know why I'm pointing over there like the Bean Boozled is standing off camera or something, but at least with the Bean Boozled jelly beans, there was some kind of game involved. There was a reason why you had all those normal, boring flavors intermingled with all the creative, fun, gross flavors. To those of you who don't know what Bean Boozled jelly beans are, you have 2 identical jelly beans. They look identical, they smell identical, but when you put them in your mouth, they don't taste identical, no. One of them is gonna taste like a standard, like cherry, lemon, grape, you know, your basic flavor of jelly bean. They taste kind of boring, blasé. You put another one in your mouth, and you pucker, and you spit, and it tastes like old sweat socks or spoiled milk, something like that. There's a degree of fun to be had there, and there's a whole game involved with it. Where's the fun? Where's the game? You know exactly what you're putting into your mouth, and half of these jelly beans on here are just boring, normal, standard flavors of jelly beans. I mean, maybe if you go on the internet, there's probably some stupid game involved with this, but it probably involves rolling a dice and then picking up a random jelly bean. There's no mystery involved. And my final complaint is perhaps the worst complaint they can have about anything. False advertising. You see a little font on the bottom of this box here. You might not be able to parse it out because it's kind of glossy, it's kind of glimmering in the light, but you might be able to see that it says every flavor beans. That would cause one to surmise that every flavor that is represented on the side of this box is going to be within this box, okay? You'd be pretty normal to think that because it says every flavor beans on the box. You know how many boxes that I had to get to make this video? 3. I had to spend over $10 to what amounted to about a handful of jelly beans to make this stupid video just because it didn't have all the flavors in there. I was missing the sausage jelly bean, I was missing the green apple jelly bean, and there was another one in there too, one of these other ones. I had to keep buying more and more flavors to try to get the flavors that I needed for the show. It's like buying freaking Garbage Pail Kids. You don't know what you're gonna get in the pack. Oh, that's fine and dandy, but they need to tell you that on the damn box because they're telling you that every flavor is in the damn box. You tell them, Walatides. I mean, hey, maybe it's my fault, right? Maybe I jumped to incorrect conclusions. Maybe if I bought a bigger box instead of this little one. Could you imagine giving them that satisfaction? How much would they charge for a box that's double this size, huh? Probably like $12 or so? Freaking crooks. So maybe if I bought a bigger box, I would have the flavors that I needed to make this special. But if this has taught me anything, even that is not guaranteed. Even though it says every flavor in this, they just opened up a funnel and just dumped random flavors in here with no rhyme or reason. You know how many soap flavored and black pepper jelly beans that I got? I got like 5 of each. And so little of others and none of others. It really should say Harry Potter Bertie Bott's jelly beans, collect them all. So yeah, I rue this entire experiment. I'm sickened by the fact that I'm gonna have to spend many a man-hour behind the computer editing this whole thing together. Because I think this whole experience was nothing but one big fail. Speaking of fail, what does any of this have to do with Harry Potter? I don't see so much as a picture of Harry on here, do you? Where's this little clown on the top here? Is that supposed to be him, huh? The moral of this story is, they didn't even try! It's your good buddy Djclyve saying, until next time, I'll see you in Limbo! Any parting words there, Walatides? Enough said. Expelliarmus.